All right, again, welcome. So tonight, again, I'm going to go over the style of Soto Zen that I was raised with. My lineage from Suzuki Roshi is the lineage holder, the grandfather to my dad, and his teacher, Jaksho Kwang, and then my dad, and then myself. And so I like sharing the lineage of the Soto Zen. And the cool thing is you can't mess this up. So I encourage you to try the form. If it stretches you a little bit, maybe puts you in a little bit of discomfort, but yet not pain to where you're taken out of being present. And so the part about discomfort and pain, discomfort is okay. That's part of the practice. Either from your thinking you're going to have discomfort, or maybe some different aches or different muscle contractions or falling asleep because you're holding a position for a certain amount of time. We are going to be sitting in a one position. If you do have to move, check for a second to make sure you're not just moving just because you're getting agitated. But if you do have to move, say your foot falls asleep and you need to put it up like this, is great. My wife always puts it back like this at about 18 minutes. Some of the things I like to do is put my foot forward sometimes when I sit for longer periods of time. So feel free to adjust yourself. Just adjust yourself with intention. Don't do it from a place of moving and just kind of like doing it from your thinking. Do it where you move with it with your breath. Very intent, with an intentionality. Okay? So the first part of Soto Zen is sitting in cross-legged position. And most people, when they think about sitting on this is a zafu is the pillow, and a zabuton is the mat. And the zafu, you actually sit on the front third of the pillow, so you're almost sitting forward on the pillow. And what that does is it kicks your hips a little bit forward, so you're actually not sitting necessarily like this. If I was sitting on the pillow, it'd be like this. But if I sit forward on it, I can actually lay one foot down in front and then lay another foot in front of that one, so they're side by side, and you actually create a base that is centered on the floor. Now last week I introduced, and you can try this or you don't have to, just to give you another style of that, is what is called seiza in Japanese. The pillow is turned up on its side and I sit down on it with my knees forward like this. That's another form that I used to sit in judo a lot with, and boy, I got to feel some discomfort last week. I sat in this form and it had been a decade since I sat like this, and so my back was getting all tight on me, and just seeing that my body was in a new position. And I just sat through it, and it wasn't anything that took me out of being present, but yet my brain was definitely tripping out on how I was sitting. Like, this isn't your normal position. So that front third of the pillow is how I'm going to sit today. To my legs crossed, just like that. And so your knees are down. If they're not up, if it's up like this, that's fine too. You can't get this part wrong. Like I say, you'll hear me say that a lot. The next part of it is having your back nice and straight. That we have these wonderful mountains here, and Hawalalai is our closest mountain, and to sit upright like the mountain with your back nice and straight is a upright and attention position. So I encourage that. If you do need to slouch down a little bit, that's fine, but really try to hold it, and you'll feel a tightness in your back if this is new to you, and you will relax into it eventually, but it takes a little bit of time. So it'll feel like your back is being really tight, and it's a new position for you, so it might be something to try tonight. Your chin is at a 45-degree angle. Your chin isn't facing down. Soto Zen is with your eyes open, not closed. So you can meditate with your eyes closed. There's nothing wrong with that. And eyes open with Soto Zen is at a 45-degree angle with your chin and your chin's at 45 degrees with your neck. Is that 45 degrees? Yeah, right? And then looking down, I can actually see a nice wide, I can see everybody in this room, and I can kind of make out the screen in front of me also when I'm looking down at a 45-degree angle. The best thing about having your eyes open when you meditate is if you go myopic or your vision goes away, you know you're not being present. So if your vision stays wide and broad, you know you're being present. We have a fantastic carpet here that will show you all kinds of cool images in your mind if you let it. So return back to your breath and let the breath be a way of staying present. When you're breathing, you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And it's diaphragmatic breathing. The visual that I like to bring is like that you have a vase that is going narrow down into your solar plexus and nice round and dynamic here at the bottom, about 3 inches below your belly button. And it's like your breath is pouring water from the base of the vase, and you fill up from the bottom up with air. So in here, we don't want to take a breath where we go and suck in our tummy. We want our tummy to come out forward, and this is where we let it be naturally at its natural state. When you were born, when you came out of your mother's womb, you naturally diaphragmatic breathe. So it's not something new that you're doing. It's something that you get to remember, that you used to breathe like this and listen and have your attention at the base of what's called your Hara. And your Hara is your center point in your body. It's your chi, it's your energy, main energy field. When you breathe into it, it actually can stimulate heat in your body. You may feel warm. Some monks or even practitioners will sit outside in the cold and they won't get cold. They'll stay nice and warm by breathing down into their Hara. I want to encourage you tonight to keep your attention on your Hara, the base of right 3 inches below your belly button. If you start to think of something, focus on the below the belly button. So you're following your breath in to the base and then out very naturally. You don't force your breath. It's none of that kind of breathing. It's very natural. In through the nose, out through the nose. The last piece I like to offer is what's called a mudra. A mudra is a hand position. Your left hand's out. Your right hand is sitting fingertips right, touching the base of the fingertips, and your thumbs come together. And that sits right at the bottom of your Hara, where that's where you're breathing into. It's like when you're breathing, you're holding an infant down at the base down there very gently, and it's like you have 2 pieces of rice or 1 piece of rice paper right in between your thumbs here, and you just want to gently touch it together, put it here. And here's the cool thing, you can see my shoulders are already out and up, is to relax and let yourself relax your shoulders. This isn't something that you need a strong form and be like this. Let your shoulders relax. That's perfect. I can see on the screen there you're doing a great job. Yes, James, very good. It's something new to try. This is the Soto Zen style of meditation. Putting your hands here is fine. Putting your hands here is fine. Putting your hands like this is fine. Whatever feels good to you, and try something new. It's good for yourself to stretch and grow into a different form. And know that this is all to encourage you to sit daily in meditation. We're going to sit for 20 minutes, and then I'll talk for 10 minutes, and then we'll sit for 10 minutes to wrap up the evening. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay? All right, to start, I ring this bell 3 times. And what that looks like is when I say, okay, we're going to go ahead and start, well, you can sit how you're going to sit, and then you'll see me put my hand up in what's called a gassho. And this is, a gassho looks like this, And if you all want to try that, this is the form for saying thank you. And so when I start, I will have my hand up like this. I'll grab the striker and ring the bell 3 times. I'll put the striker here on my knee, and I'm not going to rush, and you will feel or sense or see me put my hand with the striker up into a gasho. When we have our hands all together in a gasho, we're in no rush, but we'll bow nice and slowly together to say thank you for being here inside. You don't say it out loud, but you bow, and then you bring your hands back into your mudra, and we start the 20 minutes. To end, I do the same thing. I'll ring the bell 3 times. I'll put my hands up. We all put our hands up together, and we all bow together to end it. After the first 20 minutes, feel free to move your legs, get your blood flow back in if this is a new position for you. I'll talk for 10 minutes, and then we'll do a 10-minute sitting to end it. That's the same as the 20 minutes, but 10 minutes. Okay? So feel free. You can't screw this up. All right? So if you do need to move. Another encouragement for the night. If you do feel an itch, try not to itch it. Just let it be okay that it's there. Lorenzo talked about a mosquito landing or flying around him, and I'd said about Jaksho Kwong, or Jun Po, and he had a mosquito land on his nose, and he just let it be there while he meditated and didn't try to get it off or didn't get agitated or disturbed in his meditation. He just sat with a mosquito on his nose. So an itch is usually created by the thinking, and it's a great stretch to just say, thank you, I notice you. All right? Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here in person. It's always a pleasure to sit in Sangha, and welcome. So let's go ahead and get started. If you need to adjust how you're sitting, and we will start our 20-minute meditation. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so as you move your butt muscles around, if you need to straighten your legs a little bit, get a little circulation going, feel free. There you go. So tonight's Dharma talk is titled, "Where the Head Goes, the Body Will Follow." And I had the honor and privilege of, I had a wakeboarding career, which is riding a board behind a boat. And I was an up-and-coming competitive rider in the wakeboard practice of doing aerial tricks behind a boat. And I trained with some of the best wakeboarders in the world. And I happened to be on a boat with the 10-time world champion, Darren Shapiro. And I was so excited to be on this boat with him and get to show my stuff to this world champion and have him be coached by him. Was such an honor, and what the adrenaline was pumping. And I get behind the boat and I do these big aerial flips on the water and I land them, and then I just crash just in all the, just like the most, I'll call it glorious, but pretty failure in landing these flips over and over and over. And he pulls up next to me and he said, "Hey Tony, you know where the head goes, the body will follow?" And that's always stuck with me in this, is that, and especially with Zazen, of where the head goes, the body will follow. He said, keep your head up and trust your core. And so what a relation to meditation, of trusting your core and keeping your head up. And what I relate that to is having my attention on my core and letting that guide me, and not have to do it from my thinking of that. I just landed a flip with the world champion on the boat and crash, and there I go hitting the water and failing at this thing. And so attention on your Hara, attention on your core, is what the practice of Zazen is to have a relationship with your Hara, or your core. And so as you sit, that to pay attention to your Hara, you can actually stimulate energy down in this center point of your body. And one of the exercises that my dad has done, and I did this with our men's group, is that if you hold up your finger, and everybody hold up your finger, and put your attention on the tip of your finger. Put all your attention and just focus on the tip of your finger, and see or notice if what you feel by paying attention to the tip of your finger. Not bad or good if you don't, but bring your attention to it. And a lot of times you'll feel a little tingling from your attention being focused on your finger. Does anybody feel that so far? Do you feel that tingle? Okay, that's bringing your attention to a certain point of your body. And so if you bring your attention to your Hara the same way, is that when you're breathing diaphragmatically, that you're paying attention to that full inhalation, and what does it feel like to have your attention on your Hara? As you can see, I have to focus to bring my attention down there. I can't just be up just looking. If I do, I start to look at James and I get focused, and I got my attention, but I got you too. And so I'm doing both at the same time. So that we practice every single day. I encourage morning meditation to train yourself just like you do in the gym. It works the exact same way. The more you practice at getting used to that sensation, getting used to the feeling of being led by your Hara or your core. And when you're in relationship with other people, the presence that they feel by you paying attention to your diaphragm or your Hara, I mean, it's exponential. Like, people tell me all the time, I've never been with somebody so present that listens so well when I'm here, I'm in front of them listening. I had a client today tell me that after when he was on a Zoom call with him. He's like, man, you are the best listener ever, and I can feel it right through the screen. And then when we get in person, and I know I've interacted with all of you, that you can actually, if you think back, when I had conversations, that I felt connected with you. I was very present with you, and I wasn't letting my head wander off, and where my head goes, the body will follow. If I'm thinking about something else, cooking dinner, and I'm trying to give a talk, you guys will actually feel it. And so as we train in Zazen, as we train in Sangha together, that it'll actually bring the muscle of being more present and being led by your core when you're in relationship with others. Because ultimately, it's great to sit by yourself, but to be in Sangha when you're in this kind of situation is a felt experience at the end of being present with everybody focused on one specific thing, and that would be your Hara or your diaphragmatic breathing. And so by doing that, when you go out and you be in the world and the Sangha expands and your relationships expand, they get to feel you from this place also. When I go to the gym, I make sure, when me and Marianne are talking, she's the only one in the gym that I'm paying attention to in the moment. And I really stay connected to her or Andrew. We get to work out in sauna together, that they become the only person in the room. And so seated meditation is the practice of that kind of connection and relationship. And it all starts with your own relationship to your Hara or your core. And so I encourage you again to sit every single day. I call it a non-negotiable. And I'm a fan of 20 minutes. Christina, she exemplifies the hour sitting. I'm so inspired by you. Thank you so much for the inspiration. But the willingness to sit in stillness and silence and work on being in relationship with yourself, investigate that side of yourself it's deeper. My dad would say even underneath the Hara is a quiet place that is even a layer deeper than that. That's where if you go inside in the neurons and past the cellular, and you go to this space where there's space and nothingness, and it's very quiet, but there's something happening there. And so ultimately we get more intimate with that. Externally we become more connected and more in relations with those around us from a very grounded and centered place. So whether it's 1 minute, 20 minutes, or an hour, just give yourself the gift of doing that daily. And if you can't do it in the morning, find that time when you get in the car and start the car to take 3 breaths. Find the time, right before you go to bed, to just sit on the edge of your bed, or even lay in bed and put your hand right on your belly and feel your diaphragm rise and fall. That's one prescription I give to a lot of people is wake up, put your hand on your diaphragm and take 3 diaphragmatic breaths, and then get out of bed and be led from your Hara. And then when you go to bed, to honor the day, is put your hand right back on it and give gratitude for the day from your Hara, that you had a relationship with yourself and all your relations that you were in with everybody that you got to interact with. So where the head goes, the body will follow. And man, sometimes when you look down, you go down. So if you can keep your head up and listen deeply to your core, You'll be amazed at the people, the connections, the serendipitous events that'll happen throughout your day like this. And if you're paying attention enough, they're magical. They're magical to watch happen and unfold in front of you. And nothing more than I wish for all of us is to have serendipitous events happen at this rate. And they even happen faster than that. So I honor the time that we get to sit together, and again, watch your attention. If it starts to wander off, bring it back to your diaphragm and breathing as you're breathing in there. And maybe the next time before you react to somebody's question, that you take a breath and bring your attention down there and then respond to it from that place and see what kind of answer comes out. So where the head goes, the body will follow. Thank you for being here tonight. Any questions before we move on?
Yeah, did you finally do the flip without falling?
I learned 21 different flips, yes. Yep. I competed on a very high level, and that lesson took me so far. It was, Yes, it was quite a wakeboarding career, so thank you for asking. All right, so we're going to do a 10-minute meditation right now. We want to get our form that we're going to be sitting in again. This time again, stretch into something maybe a little bit more than you did last time. If you want to try something, this is a little shorter. It might be something you can move around and see if you can get a little more into this position. It only took me about 6 years to get fully into this position. So take your time, there's no rush. Andrew here did it in probably less than a month, and he started out on 2 pillows and worked down into that. So the encouragement of, if you slowly try and experiment with it. Steve, you tried it out a couple of weeks ago. Great job. I just love that you gave it a shot, and so always just go to that little bit of an edge and see what comes up with it. When we're finished, that if you can please fluff your pillow the way you found it when you first got here, and dust off any lint that was on the zabuton. I will get up and sit in the morning and be able to sit with the energy that we've created here, and then I'll put them away before the men's group on Thursday night. And if you can just keep the energy still low and not too rambunctious, and hugs, handshakes, and see how long you can let that feeling go with you into the evening without maybe turning on a TV or scrolling, or even be by yourself and just feel that feeling. Maybe take a hot bath, or take some time to yourself to just be with yourself. Or in relations with others. Thank you all for being here. Look forward to next week. Like I always say, you're more than welcome to invite a friend. I believe we can hold about 15 people in here, and we have unlimited space online, so you're more than welcome to invite people for online, and I can get you the link. All they got to do is either text me, or I can text you the link for this. Thank you for joining online. I really appreciate it. It's great to see all of you. And California's in the house tonight. Woo! Yep. And anything else? Oh yes, my meditation manual, and I'll be doing an email newsletter coming up. It's coming together. Amber's helping me with that. So we're on our last run of review on that. So excited to get that out, so you can have your own meditation manual too to have with you at home. So
that's awesome.
All right, let's do this. Thank you very much for coming, and look forward to next week. All right, 10 minutes. Here we go. Okay, thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you for joining us online. Look forward to seeing you all next week. And feel free to invite a friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here online. Aloha. Yep, you got that? Yep. He's, buddy's talking to buddies right there online.